Hey, sports fans, PB and Z, Sports Chaos. PB, this has been an interesting week. We're going to talk a little breakdown of our football games last week, college and NFL. But the MLB, we went from the wild card to the divisional round, and this thing just went crazy in an overnight. First of all, first time ever, the top five seeds in baseball are no longer playing going into the championship series. And you got some teams, the Diamondbacks. Did you see that coming? Beating the Dodge, sweeping the Dodgers, right?
Sweeping it, right?
Mookie and Freddie Freeman were 1 for 21. I mean, these are two guys that are like considered 2 and 3 in the MVP balloting. 1 for 21.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
it almost makes you think, like, when the NHL playoffs come around, it doesn't matter your seeding; it matters like the hot goaltender. Well, now in baseball, it's almost like the hot pitcher, right? If you're hot on the mound and you got a couple, three guys like Arizona does that can come out at you and set down the Dodgers like that, you get hot, anything can happen, right?
By the way, interesting comment by Mookie Betts. He was asked, what do you think about the new format? Because don't forget, they had a week off before they played a game, right?
Right.
So Mookie said no comment. So you know what? I wonder if they're looking for a little tweak in the playoffs. We'll see. But the other thing that surprised me, the Rangers with no problem at all swept the O's, right? That was the one. You got the Phils beating, and I mean, I guess we're not surprised that they did it last year, but the Braves are the best record in the league. And they absolutely took care of them, right? I mean, the Braves won one game, but
yeah, but their lineup is ridiculous. I mean, I'd even say more so than the Dodgers. And I know it's just
I will say, I think when we did our baseball preview show, I think I had the Phils going this far, and you laughed at me. So, matter of fact, for the first week when they were like 0 for 5 at the beginning of the year, you kept on texting me, Phils lost again, Phils lost again.
But we both said last week, the four teams that got the buys are going to just
should win.
They're going to cruise through this thing. They got killed. They got swept. I mean, the only team that's left out of those
is Houston.
So does that open the door now for Houston just walk through this to get to the world, win the World Series, you think?
As much as I don't want to say this, they have to be the favorite right now. I'm personally rooting for the Phils. I would like to see a Rangers Phils series. I think that would be exciting.
Okay. Yeah.
And by the way, hey, a little shout out and a little blast at the Red Sox. Nate Eovaldi, nice job, brother. Nasty Nate was awesome. Heimblum, thank God you're gone. Why did you not resign Nate Eovaldi? Come on, man. Look at him. He's playing in the league championship series now, right?
And he had a good regular season. And it's an all Texas ALCS, which
that's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. That could get Texas did have the huge advantage over. I mean, Houston had a huge advantage over Texas all year, but we'll see. We'll see going into that game. So then I think Philly had an advantage over Arizona in the few times they play, but who knows? Arizona's got the hot pitcher, like you said, hot pitching staff, like you said. Okay. But that Philly fandom, man, that was watching that game last night. That fandom is fanatical, and Nick Castellanos playing in front of his son on the first base line. What an awesome moment for a dad.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Let's talk a little college football because we had a couple things happen last week. Notre Dame upset by Louisville. Now we should call them Notre Shame, but we're going to pick that game later on. Okay. Georgia Tech beats your Miami Hurricane down there in most unbelievable fashion. Mario Cristobal, I did not know he's guilty of this offense before. Really? You didn't down the ball on third down with like 30 seconds left in the game, and you just could have punted right after that? Bad, or not even punted, they could have run the clock out. I don't understand that, right? So that's unbelievable in my opinion. But the big thing is Z is loving right now. I can't believe I don't have my hat on. Oh, there it is. There it is. No. The showdown, the Red River rivalry was a classic. Don't you agree?
That was a great game. OU came out on top. I did have Texas, and not only do I have Texas, but I had them laying 5, and I blew that one up. But that's because I picked Texas to be in the CFP, so I had to kind of ride them. I just had to stick with my guns on that one. But good for OU.
What about USC? They were down 17-0. They needed 3 over. We're going to pick that game today, and I don't know. They needed 3 overtimes to win that game against Arizona. So a lot of stuff happening. And then you had Alabama, who had down 17-0 against A&M, right? I wrote that game off. I turned it off. I thought for sure Alabama lost. So last week was interesting. We'll see. All right. We're going to make some picks here momentarily. One of those picks is the Oregon-Washington series. This one is very interesting. So let's get right into that. Oregon-Washington is, I didn't realize, I've seen this game a few times. I forgot how much of a classic rivalry it is. So that game is, we got it. We put it on the board for us guys to pick at -2.5. I believe it's gone to -3 in favor of Washington, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to pick it at -2.5.
Oh, we are? Okay, because you have it at -3 in the text.
Oh, I do have it at -3?
Yeah.
All right, well, then we're picking it at -3. I'm sorry. Okay.
All right, we're picking it -3, which kind of matters because
it does matter. Yes,
it does matter. It does. This game very well could be a push. But I'm going to take the points with the road team in Oregon.
I'm with you. I think, well, you know what? I don't think Bo Nix is a better quarterback. I just think he's been around long. I think Michael Penix is a better quarterback, but I think Oregon has a better team. So we'll see. But that's going to 3:30 tomorrow. I can't wait to watch that game.
Yeah, and G Money has Washington, by the way, so he's opposite us.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's stay out in the West Coast. Let's go UCLA, number 18 in the country. They're playing Oregon State, who I believe was number 15. Oregon State is a 4-point favorite. Is that what we're going with?
3.5.
3.5. Okay, so 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the road team here, and I'm going to take UCLA. Give me the 3.5. Despite being on the road, I know Oregon State's playing very well this year. They're ranked like 11th or something, aren't they?
I think they're 15th.
Oh, 15. I'm sorry. They're ranked 15th. So, I mean, that's pretty good for that program. But I'm still not buying it, and I like what I'm seeing out of UCLA. I'm gonna take the 3.5 with UCLA.
I'm a huge Chip Kelly fan. I think he's a great coach. He's better than Brian Kelly. I'll say that any day of the week. They won last week when I didn't pick them, so I'm gonna pick UCLA this week.
Okay, so we're the same, and I think G Money also is with UCLA, so that's 3 of us.
All right. A West Coast team, but they're coming to the central part of the country to play Notre Dame. Number 10 USC versus number 21 Notre Dame. Now, that spread, what are we using for that one? Are we using 3 or 2.5?
3 on that
3?
one. Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
This one's tough. Both these teams are disappointing, actually. And I like what I'm seeing out of Notre Dame's defense enough to be like, maybe they can keep USC at pat, and they should be able to score at will on USC's defense. So everything tells me, hey, go with Notre Dame, lay the points. But how can you give USC points? I got USC in the finals this year in the CFP, which obviously is not looking so good right now. But I gotta take the points on this one. I'm going with my third road team here. I'm taking USC.
By the way, I have Notre Dame in the final. I have no shot now after that last debacle. But I love Marcus Freeman as a coach. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I'm going Notre Dame. I'm giving you the points.
G Money has Notre Dame as well. So,
all right, let's go to the big one. This one, there's a title for this game. I forget what they call it. The Oregon-Washington. It's not the Civil War because that's Oregon State, but it's close to the Civil War because these two teams hate each other. Number 8 Oregon, number 7 Washington. It's a 3-point game. You said right? Washington's the favorite.
Didn't we pick that already? We picked that.
I thought we did. Oregon State.
No, we did Oregon, Washington first. Then we went to Oregon State.
Oh, all right. I thought we started. All right. Yeah. And you have who?
Me and you took Oregon, and G Money took Washington.
Why did I think we did that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, remember we talked. You said Bo Nix and Michael Penix, and we were doing that.
Yeah, but I didn't think we picked it at that point. Okay, all right. So you got Oregon, I got Oregon. G Money's got who?
Washington.
All right, he's got the Heisman Trophy
So
winner. I guess
Miami. We got Miami, North Carolina to go.
That's why I missed Miami. All right. So what do you think there?
I'm going to go
3.5. 3.5 for North Carolina.
3.5, and I'm gonna go 4 for 4 with my road teams here, and I'm gonna take the points with Miami. So all 4 road teams I'm picking in our 4-play this week.
Oh, so we're not separate anywhere. I'm going Miami as well. I just think they're gonna bounce back from that debacle last week.
All right. Okay. Well,
What's G Money got?
we're different. He also has Miami. We're only different on me and you only on Notre Dame. You got Notre Dame. I got.
Oh yeah, okay. All right. All right, let's
Yeah.
go to the pros. All right, so last week, couple storylines. Obviously, the Bills getting beat in London. It was in London, I think, right? By the Jags.
Against Jacksonville. Yep.
My Cowboys getting absolutely trounced by the 49ers. Unfreaking believable. The Steelers, who you picked to be in the toilet, are better than most people think, I believe, right now. They beat the Ravens. What's the biggest storyline last week?
Yeah, I mean that game just proved to me that I think the Bengals will have no problem at all winning that division because Baltimore and Pittsburgh both suck. I mean, let's just face it. I never thought Pittsburgh was gonna be good. I still don't think they are. I did have some hopes for Baltimore, but the way they played last week, there's no question in my mind that Cincinnati wins that division. But my biggest takeaway though at the end of the week was the trouncing of the Niners over the Cowboys to clearly separate themselves as the best team in football and in the NFC. I know you think the Eagles can contend with them, but I think the Niners are the team to beat. The other thing, my other takeaway is the Patriots suck. I mean, they freaking absolutely blow. And I'm disappointed in the way they're playing. Obviously, 2 weeks in a row getting trounced. Okay, Dallas in Dallas, maybe you can make an excuse for that, but then you come back home and get blown out by New Orleans. They're just not playing well right now.
PB, I got an interesting proposal for you, or a proposition. Here's my proposition. I believe that Bill Belichick is going to pull a Brady at the end of the year, or Bill Parcells. He's going to walk away at the end of the game and tell Kraft, see you later, before Kraft can pull a Belichick and tell him a year too early, you're done. And what's going to happen even better, Jerry Jones is going to fire Mike McCarthy on the cusp of going into the playoffs as a wild card team. He's going to let Dan Quinn run the team as an interim, and he's going to name Bill Belichick the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys in 2024. Bill's going to win not one Super Bowl with the Cowboys, but 2 to up Brady, and then he's going to retire. That's my bold prediction.
Wow. That is a very bold prediction. I like it.
I see it happening. I see it. Not that I want to see it. I'm not a big Bill fan, but I see it happening.
Interesting. I like it. The only takeaway, I still, I'm a fan of the Falcons. They're having a little rough go of things here, but they're still 3-0 at home. Desmond Ridder still has not lost a game in his career as a collegiate athlete or as a NFL pro athlete at home. And
interesting. Okay.
And they came back and beat the Texans last week, and this week they have a Washington team that has been very susceptible in their pass defense. I mean, that defensive backfield in Washington is atrocious, and I'm looking for a big game out of Ridder this week.
By the way, if the Falcons had a Joe Burrow at quarterback, because they have some talent around, right? I mean, running back with Bijan and the other kid that's really good as well.
Right. Tyler Algier, right?
Yeah, and then they got the tight end. He hasn't done a lot yet, right? The kid from
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts.
Right.
And then they got Drake London.
Yeah.
They got some talent.
That's why I was high. I had high hopes on them, but
Desmond Ridder's the quarterback. So,
but Ridder's managing games at home for some reason.
He
doesn't lose at home.
A la Brock Purdy, right? A la Brock Purdy. Well, who doesn't lose any games? But
yeah, right, exactly. All right, so let's get into our picks.
All right, let's go picks. All right, I'm going to start right in. I usually like to go last of the teams I really love, but I'm going to go Dallas, who needs the big rebound game. They're going to the Chargers. What do you think here?
Yeah, and that's the Monday night game, right?
Yes.
Dallas got embarrassed last week, and I think, despite being on the road, I think they find a way and they bounce back, and their defense shows up. They play solid. They limit their weapons. Eckler could be back this week, which could be a factor. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be decided by a field goal. But I think Dallas is the team that wins here.
I got Dallas as well, of course, but I mean, I am actually thinking with my head, not my heart. By the way, if they don't win, I think McCarthy doesn't go back on the flight.
All right. Okay. G Money has the Chargers, by the way.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
All right. Seattle, Cincinnati. This is a really interesting game. Cincinnati found themselves a little bit last week. Seattle, I think, is a really good team. They're probably the fourth best team in the NFC, maybe third at this point in time. What do you think?
Yeah, and they showed us they can win on the road. They beat Detroit in week 2 on the road, which is a big win for them. I just think Cincinnati's is playing a team like this is how they roll. They start off slow and then they kick it into gear. Granted, it was Arizona last week, which isn't a huge challenge, but they still went on the road and won a football game, which is what
Cowboys
matters.
beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I think they come back home, and I think they just show what they're capable of. And I love what I saw to Burrow. Burrow, I think, is back healthy pretty much now. And Jamar Chase had a ridiculous game. I think Cincinnati takes this one.
All right. I got Cincinnati as well. What's G Money got?
Yeah, G Money does too.
All right. Detroit versus Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's coming off a bye. I'm pretty sure G Money's taking Detroit, right?
Yeah, he's taking Detroit. I am too. I think Tampa Bay is kind of a fraud team this year. I think people are, hit Baker and they're picking up and their defense is playing well and all this stuff, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying Tampa at all. And give me Detroit all day in this game.
I need to see Detroit win a game on the road against a pretty tough defense. I'm not sure they can do it. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Oh, wow. Z. All right.
And I see Baker Mayfield being up for the challenge, and Baker throws for 3 touchdowns.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, let's go to the loser bowl. Let's go to the snooze bowl. Let's go to New England versus the Patriots. Vegas. The Patriots of the West. Vegas.
Yeah. Right. And Vegas showed us some life last week against Green Bay. Their defense looked really good. Jordan Love started off this season really, really well. And you're like, oh, this guy.
And by the way, Freddie, that pick, waiting for the quarterback in the 4th round of our survivor pick or 5th round, wherever he took you, Jordan Love, it's going to burn you, buddy. All right, go ahead.
All right, we'll see. But yeah, the Jordan Love, he started off strong. We'll see. Vegas got to him last week. It was obvious. So I have hopes in their defense. But even if they had a mediocre defense, it doesn't matter because the Patriots offense is probably the most lethargic offense in the entire NFL. I'll give their defense some credit, but they still have playmakers. They still got
Jacobs. Even their defense quit last week in that game against New Orleans. Yeah. Come on, 34-0 to New Orleans, who was averaging 18 a game. Come on. Yeah. That's defense.
Yeah, and you're going on the road. Patriots haven't shown me enough to even consider taking them. They could be one of the bottom 3-4 teams in the league right now, in my opinion. So
I got Vegas. Is G Money in Vegas?
No, he has the Patriots. The only thing you could say is, hey, Bill Belichick wants to beat Josh McDaniels, and he's going to figure out a way to do it. That's the only thing you can maybe say with that.
That could be true. That could be true.
But logic says take Vegas. So yeah, I got Vegas.
All right. 49ers at Cleveland. It should be a no-brainer, but this is a 1:00 game, which means it's 10:00 in San Francisco. Cleveland is playing tough this year. I think they're coming off a bye, if I'm not mistaken, as well. But Deshaun may not play, correct?
He's not playing officially.
He's definitely not playing. All right, I got 49ers either way, but it's going to be it's a little bit of a trap game, I think.
Yeah, and PJ Walker's actually DTR is not playing either, so PJ Walker looks like he's going to be starting on Sunday. Yeah, which makes me. Niners, like I said, I don't know if I'll ever pick against the Niners this year, so Niners for me. G-Money's got the Niners too.
By the way, given this time start, if Deshaun was playing, I might have taken Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
All right, Colts and Jags. This is the first place game for the South. I can't believe it, right?
Right, yeah. They've been pretty
Anthony Richardson is out.
Yeah.
The mustache is playing. Gardner Minshew, right? What do you think?
G-Money. He goes by G-Money. Gardner Minshew does.
Oh, that's right. He does. Yeah.
He goes right. So we got 2 G-Moneys in the house. And actually, G-Money is laying in on G-Money and taking Indy. I know. Probably just because Gardner Minshew goes by G-Money. So he's going to take him. He'll take Indy every week if Minshew's quarterbacking. But I'm going to take Jacksonville. Jacksonville showed me enough last week in London against Buffalo, beating
Buffalo. Yeah, against Buffalo. Yeah, you're right. Trevor Lawrence showed up.
And they swept both games out there in London. I think Jacksonville's finding their way. They're kind of like Cincinnati in that way. They start off a little slow. They got great playmakers. They're picking things up now. To me, it's Jacksonville all day.
By the way, KC won last night. They won unimpressively, in my opinion. These Jacksonville, you just said it right there. Jacksonville and Cincinnati in the next 3 years will be the kings in the AFC. I think.
They could. They very well could be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Good show.
You got Jacksonville too.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right, brother. Nice show. Nice talking with you.
Hey, we're only different on the Detroit Tampa game. So that if that game, whatever the outcome of that game is, I'm either gaining on you or losing on you by one game.
It's because of Baker. Come on, Baker. Don't let me down. All right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right. See you, man.